for murder. Linda Darby's story is remarkable by any standard. In 1972, she escaped from prison. She went on the run for more than 30 years, and in that time, managed to create an entirely new life. To evade capture, she abandoned the family and the town she knew. She set out to start again in a small town in Tennessee.
Darby's escape from the Indiana State Women's Prison was bloody.
I was scratched up and bloody and everything from going over the barbed wire.
For the past 30 years or so, the now 64-year-old has been living in Pulaski. Even Darby doesn't know how she kept her 30-year secret. Married with 2 children, 8 grandchildren, a playset is in the backyard. She cleaned houses for a living. Today, though, this fugitive has a message for people who believed her to be Linda McElroy and not Linda Darby.
This is who I am. This is who I am.
So you escaped and you decided to make a clean breast of it, start a new life.
I just changed my last name, changed 1 digit to my Social Security, and that's how I survived.
Were you always in a position where you were looking over your shoulder, wondering whether the next tap on your shoulder would be that of an arresting officer, a policeman, somebody in authority?
There's always the chance. I just kept asking God, please let me raise my children. I couldn't imagine them not being able to take care of themselves.
Did you ever confide in anybody at all about what had happened to you?
Mm.
There was nobody you felt you could talk to about your life in prison before?
I knew that if I involved them, then that would put them in the middle of it too. So no, I did not.
But it must be difficult when people talk about their lives. You drift into talking about what you did earlier. How was it possible never to mention anything about your past to your closest friends?
It was hard. It was very hard. But I just kept it within.
On the day that policeman came to your house, on that fateful day, what were you planning to do on that day?
I had just got through working. I was working for cleaning house that day, and we had came in, fixed dinner, and I was sitting at the kitchen table smoking a cigarette. My daughter went to the door, and Joe Robinson, who was the policeman that came to the house, and I knew him for 30 years, he said, I'm going to show you this picture. And Linda, tell me if you know who this person is. And I said, it's me. He said, no. He said, I told them they were wrong. He said, I've known you 30 years. I said, Joe, what's the sense of me lying? I could sit here and lie all day to you, and fingerprints don't lie. I said, you'd know it as soon as you took my fingerprints.
What did you say to your children?
I told them. And they said, Mom, we're behind you 100% because we know you didn't do it. I told them that back in 1970, I was accused and convicted then of killing my second husband.
What did they say?
They said, we don't believe it. We know you didn't do it. And my husband said the same thing.
Were you surprised that you were an escaped prisoner for so long? Did it surprise you?
Mm-hmm.
And now?
And now, all I can do is try my best to work my way out legally, walking out the front door.
I've never heard a story of somebody who's been on the run for 35 years. I've never heard anything quite like it. Linda Darby will probably die in this prison. But unlike the other women here, she has memories of 35 years of freedom.